Great day and welcome to the podcast, The Recovery Life After Heartbreak. This podcast is our way of just providing some help and assistance to those who have experienced heartbreak. And let's just be honest, we all have on some level in some way. So here we talk about not only heartbreak from like a relational type, romantic type relationship, but we're talking about family issues, whatever hurt that you've experienced. There is a way back from heartbreak. And so we share here on this podcast. We answer questions. We just share our life experiences and the wisdom that God has given to us. This podcast started out with my mom and I. Ever Janelle, as I stated to you guys before, Dad is God is bringing Dad through some things. So continue to pray for Dad, pray for Mom. Today we're going to discuss no apologies. That's the title of today's podcast, No Apologies. So often we can hear people say like, man, I'm not apologizing, right? Or you get no apologies from me. But let's talk about what's on the other side of that and how we move forward and forgive people when they don't apologize. One of the things I've come to realize and come to accept, because see, there's a difference between realizing something and accepting it. What I've realized is that an apology is not it has no place in the different stages of forgiveness. Like it's not required for you to begin forgiving. Forgiving isn't for the other person. I know you hear that, and sometimes it might make you feel very sick to hear it. Sometimes it's frustrating because you're like, yes, it's not for them, but how do I let go of what they did to me? And I believe one of the ways that we begin to let go of and be able to start the process of forgiveness, remember that forgiveness is a process. Yes, today I can say I forgive you and mean it wholeheartedly. However, there is pain and hurt and trauma, no matter how you think it should be severe or small or grand or great, or how long it should take someone to get over something. We don't get to time them because everyone processes hurt and pain differently, right? So I believe that the beginning of this process of forgiveness is being able to accept the person has chosen to be who they are. Sometimes we can get very disappointed by people's actions because we have an expectation of them that they're not willing to fulfill. So, and it doesn't mean that they're being evil or anything like that. They have just made a choice, a conscious choice in their lives to be who they are. It doesn't negate the potential for them to be better or to be different, but we cannot base our relationships on someone's potential to be honest, someone's potential to be faithful, someone's potential to not hurt me or be a troublemaker, or someone's potential to not cause confusion between siblings or their children or their spouse and children, or whatever the hurtful dynamic is. Yes, they can have the potential to be good people, but every single day we all make a choice to either do good or to do bad. Now, just because I might make a wrong choice doesn't make me evil. It's about the intentions and the heart of the matter. Someone can make a wrong choice, right? But if you make that wrong choice over and over again for decades, then sweetheart, that's a lifestyle that you've chosen. And I don't have to, you don't have to, allow your boundaries to waver or to lack or to be non-existent just because someone else has chosen to be toxic. Or should I say chosen to live their lifestyle, which brings toxicity to yours. How do we move on? Again, we accept that they have chosen to be who they are. There's a particular relative that I have that they can do well for a little bit, but the minute they do not get their way, or the minute something seems to go wrong, or the minute their lying has been exposed, then they're the victim and everyone else is at fault. It's always everyone blames them. It is always that they don't get the benefit of the doubt. It's always that, oh, woe is me. I'm the victim. Everyone treats me bad. No matter what I do, I end up being the person that everyone blames. When in actuality, that's a narcissistic response to their behavior when they're called out on it, right? And so that used to really hurt me because I used to let's just be honest about it. When we take a moment and we look at it, sometimes we internalize the thing and we think, why am I not good enough for you to love me? Why am I not good enough for you to be honest? Why are you lying to me? And then we take personal their choice to be a liar. We take personal their choice to be a thief and a deceiver and all of the other things that they've chosen to be, when in actuality, it was their choice. It was absolutely their choice. So why are we carrying their condemnation and the burden of their choices? We have to consciously and be cognizant of when we're doing that, and then consciously make a decision to let responsibility lie exactly where it lies. So when your heart is broken by someone, especially someone close to you, someone that you love dearly, a family member or whatever, and you continue to find them making a choice to hurt you and to hurt others around you, I want you to remember that what they've chosen has nothing to do with your value, but it has to do with their lack of character. And they've chosen to lack in character in that place. Everything about life is a choice. I used to tell my youngest child that, my son Christopher. Recently, he and I have talked about this, and my daughter and I have talked about this in separate conversations, because sometimes your kids can express something to you, or someone can tell you like, hey, this is something that I didn't understand growing up, or this is something that bothered me that you did when I was growing up, or maybe this is something that hurt me when we were in a relationship, right? And so they both expressed different things on either side. And I had to explain to my children, it was never that I loved either of them more or less than I did the other. It's not that I have a favorite, even though they think in certain situations I favorite the other person. Well, when I have to make a decision and what I see is either right or wrong, then I'm going to go with what I believe to be right and, stand against or speak against the thing that I believe to be wrong. But what I had to tell my children, which honestly is blessing me even in this moment, is I told them, I didn't love you any different. I just parented you differently. You see, the way I parented my daughter was different than the way I parented my son. So my daughter had a healthy fear of me, right? I could change the tone in my voice, or just her knowing that if she did something, it would disappoint me, or maybe, I wouldn't be happy with her choices. She made a decision that she was going to do her best never to disappoint me, which brought about other things like the complex of making her believe that she had to be the good girl all the time and that she had to always do everything perfectly. And it put impossible stresses on her that I didn't know existed for decades. I just thought, you know what? She's great. She's amazing. She's awesome. And my son's great as well. But there were things that she didn't challenge me with. And I just thought, hey, this is just her character. But then there was this pressure of, I've got to be good because I don't want to disappoint mom. Though I never spoke those words to her, I just let her know that her and her brother know this is what I will accept, this is what I won't accept as good behavior, and she made a choice to not cross that line. My son, on the other hand, when I communicated it in a certain way, or changed my tone, or even spanked them or whatever, like that was not as effective as me saying to him, you know what, you have a choice. This is your world. I said, this is your world, honey. You can choose whatever you want to do in a day, but I need you to know that if you choose this, this is going to be my response. And if you choose this, that's going to be my response. And I'm going to roll with whatever you do. And it might seem like, oh, that was like way far different than how you parented her. It absolutely was, because they were so far in their apart in their personalities and the way that they comprehended consequences and your actions and how they come with consequences. I had to do something different so that I wasn't always responding to my son in a way that was me spanking him or punishing him or any of those things. And then it would give the twisted lie that the enemy likes to put out there, that mom doesn't love me. Mom treats me different. I get more spankings than my sister. I get more punishments than my sister. I get more things taken away. I put the responsibility in his court to let him know that, hey, this is what you can do on either side of this ball. But whatever you do, you started the game and I'm going to finish it. So I had to do it differently. I had to find different types of boundaries for my children because, again, one had one temperament and one had the other. The same way we can accept that as children, we need to be able to accept that with parents and husbands and siblings. Now, it's not saying that you're co-signing what they've done and said it was correct. I didn't co-sign my son's choice that was wrong. I talked to him about it, and then I delivered the punishment that I promised him. See, it was a promise. It wasn't just a threat. It was a promise. It wasn't just some words that were coming out of my mouth. It was absolutely a promise. That's how my boundary was set up. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, regardless of if you chose the good choice or the wrong choice, because you had the power to choose. You absolutely have the power to choose to either accept and love a person as they are with healthy boundaries so that their toxicity doesn't run over into your worlds. Or you can choose not to have any boundaries and then spend the rest of your life hurt, upset, and bitter. And I'm not saying that you're wrong for feeling any of those things, because when we are brokenhearted, those are all natural reactions. I'm hurt, I'm upset, and sometimes I'm bitter about what you did to me. Now, when bitterness becomes me, that's a whole different ball game. But I can feel a little bitterness in my spirit if you cheated on me. I can feel a little bitterness if you broke up with me. I can feel a little bitterness if you play me and my siblings against each other. I can feel a little bitterness if you aren't a good parent. I can feel a little bitterness if you choose to be narcissistic. Like, I can feel that, but I will not ever let it become my demeanor ever again, because when I do, I give that power to the person who has made a conscious choice to never ever change. No matter how many times they mask it, they are who they are. Not because they couldn't change, but because they chose not to. So when it says that a tiger, I think I shared this last week, doesn't change its stripes, that's because that person is a tiger. They can pretend to not be a tiger, and you can be deceived by it if you choose to, because you're looking at the stripes, right? You see the stripes. You see the scars of what they've done to the relationship. And those scars are legitimate scars. But you can say, oh, that's not a lion, a tiger. That's a bunny rabbit. But baby, you run up to feed that bunny, put your hand out to feed that tiger as if you're feeding a bunny rabbit. The tiger gonna bite the hand that's feeding it. The bunny rabbit, no, not so much. They might leave a little poop in the trail, but that's what bunny rabbits do when they hop around in their cube. So really it comes down to, am I willing to see you for who you are and accept you for who you are, knowing that that's your choice, but then also making healthy choices for myself so that I don't find myself in the midst of heartbreak again, right? There's a thing that says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, the shame is never on you when someone is deceiving you. God gave me this about a year or so ago. He said in the middle of just, I don't even think it was a Bible study. I had done a Bible study with him, and I was writing some things down, and I think I was in the midst of just my day. And God said to me, when a man deceives a woman, he's doing Satan's work. And I said, what? He said, because Satan started the deception of women. Like, he brought the lies into the world. He created it. But the first thing he did was to deceive a woman. And I'm going to try not to get ahead of myself into the thing that God shared with me yesterday. I'm going to share it because the Holy Spirit do what you do. The Lord was showing me that there's no greater weapon in the world than a woman, a wife, a mother, because God placed enmity between the woman and the serpent. That meant this enmity is a two-way street. That meant I got the power to turn around and turn this aggression against the enemy in a way that no one else can. And to tell you that you can't have my family. Because see, we are seed planters. Jesus help me. I'm too far out here, Jesus. I don't even know how to get back. They're going to get something from this. Okay, I'm going to obey. We are seed. Well, you can give us a seed and we're going to birth that thing, right? You can give us a seed of a business and we're going to turn it into a multi-billion-dollar business. You can give us a vision, should I say, of a business and we'll turn it into a business. You can give us a manuscript and we'll turn it into a play. And not that men can't do these things, but what I'm saying is it's different. The man gives us his seed and it becomes human. A temple for another soul. We birth things, right? That's what we do. So the enemy came directly to the thing that births, that creates, right? So when man is deceiving the woman, he's doing Satan's work. Now, whether it's a man deceiving a woman or a woman deceiving a man, we're doing the work of Satan when we are deceiving people. Manipulating a situation to get the outcome you want. And when I say that, I'm not talking about, oh, I got to move some pieces on the chess piece to get a win. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you manipulate things because you want an outcome. So you'll say this to this one and do this here and send this person here. No. I do not believe that God wants us to do that. Now, there are times when we need to be strategic and we need to look at what's on the table. Like with my business, I have to be strategic on who I market with certain things because those certain gifts and certain coaching packages that God gives to me, programs that he gives to me, there are people called to it. There are certain people I am to serve in that. So I have to be strategic in how do you want me to serve this person? So this person signed up for this program. And what way am I strategically personalizing their strategies, these strategies within this program to actually be beneficial to this person and them get out of it what they're supposed to and become who you've called them to be. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about strategizing. I'm talking about full-blown manipulation. And somewhere in the Bible, it tells us that manipulation is witchcraft. Now, y'all can take that and do what you want to do with it. But what I'm going to tell you is this. If you are struggling with forgiving someone for something and they didn't apologize, whether it was rape, whether it was molestation, whether it was being cheated on, lied to, parent hurt, whatever it is going to start with accepting that person for who they are. You're not saying they're right for the choices that they've made. You're not saying that they've lost the potential to be somebody better. You're just admitting and accepting the truth that in this season of their lives, and maybe all the seasons of their lives, they are making a conscious choice to be exactly who they are. That leaves you to make a conscious choice to be exactly who you are and to be wholly you. You may have to put up some boundaries that will keep them from running over into your life, or maybe even at times, depending on what God is calling you to do, totally eliminate the relationship. And God will give you direction on that. And I promise you, he can make that thing so smooth. He'll make them leave you. And later, they don't even know why they left you. And they'll have to watch you walk by, grow, evolve, and think, why did I let them go? Why did I treat my daughter that way? Why did I do whatever it was that they did to you? But that part ain't your business. And so, as I say often in my classes, I'm going to need you to mind your business. Be minding the business of you, which is to make sure that you have healthy boundaries in place, that you are able to uphold them. You've got an infrastructure for those boundaries, and that you are at peace with living your life with these boundaries so that you can be fully and wholly who God called you to be. If you're struggling with any of this, meet us at mindingwhatmattersnow.com. Again, that is mindingwhatmattersnow.com. And sign up for coaching or counseling or one of our courses. We just actually launched our newest a coaching program called The Shift. It's called transitional coaching. So whether you're transitioning from one mindset to the other, whether you are transitioning from being married to divorced or divorced to being married again, whether you're transitioning to a new job, whatever the transition is, and some of you might be feeling stuck right now, this program is going to be absolutely for you. It is a 90-day program. You can even get it on payment plans, however you choose to do it. But baby, sign up, because I promise you there's more to life than living toxically and being stuck. And we are here to help you with that. Well, until next time, you have listened to the podcast, The Recovery, Life After Heartbreak. I'm your host, Vivian Bell, and I will see you again next week. God bless.